So
Thank you for taking the time.
I'm not sure how much Lana told you about what I'm doing, but I'm a journalist in the UK, and I'm writing an article about male models. Well, it's the aesthetic of men in the entertainment industry, and it includes male models. And I really wanted to include you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for thinking of me.
Um, so I want to start from the beginning, really. And so, did you get scouted at a
Yes,
certain age?
I was. I was found on MySpace when I was 17, and
Yeah.
they sent me a message. And at first, I didn't really know, so I told my mom. I was like, "Mom, there's this man and woman messaging me on MySpace," and so she got in contact with him, and it ended up being legit. It was Lana. And so since
Oh,
that day, since November 27, 2006, I've been with Lana.
oh, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and she was just creeping on MySpace.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom sent me up here with $150, and that's all she wrote.
So, were you nervous
I was
about starting out?
terrified. I was terrified.
Yeah,
I didn't talk for like the first 3 days I came to New York. It was the biggest city I've ever been to.
yeah.
I'm from a smaller town. When I was born, it was like 4,000. It's 26,000 now, I think.
So, what town are you from?
I'm from Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay. So, do you go back often?
I mean, I used to, but during the pandemic, my mom's older, and so I was just for her health, and
Yeah.
I have little nieces and nephews, so it's just smarter to stay away for the time being for
Oh,
their health.
yeah. You're sensible. um,
At least it's a good excuse not to do family holidays.
exactly. Um, so when you got scouted, you came to New York. Did you have to take test shots?
I did. I did like two tests, and Cliff Watts was one of them. But I got really lucky. I was very fortunate from when I first came up. Like I think Lana booked me on my first job within like a week.
Oh, wow.
And as I said, I had a very fortunate, very quick career, and that's all because Lana just pushed and pushed, and
Yeah,
I'm very thankful to have a lady like that working for me,
yeah. So
or
you
working
have
with me, working with me.
a great relationship with her.
Yeah, she's you talked to her yesterday, right?
Yeah,
She's a firecracker, right?
she is. She knows exactly what she's doing, especially with you.
She knows more about what I should be doing than I do.
Yeah.
That's why she was called Mama Lana.
So when you started, did you have a vision for yourself of where you'd like to be in the
Oh
industry?
yeah, and it was terrible. I wanted to do Abercrombie. Like, I mean, I just thought of fashion very differently. Like, I'd never been around Fendi. I thought Fendi was a food. I didn't know these brands. So what I thought was, this kid from Georgia, I worked at the Abercrombie and Fitch store. I was like, I really want to be an Abercrombie. But then Lana kind of guided me, and I didn't understand the terms high fashion
Yeah,
or European looks.
yeah.
It was a very foreign concept to me. So as I learned more, my vision changed and grew, but it was
So,
very, very small at the beginning.
so with brands, what is your look described as?
Oh, I can't figure that out.
Yeah,
I, I don't know. I guess, I've
all
never looked at that.
American Caucasian.
Well, the thing is that I've never, like, I work more with European clients, and
Hmm.
as the American that doesn't work with that many Americans, it's quite funny, and
Yeah,
people can't really place it. I mean, I guess Irish people think I look Irish because I'm Irish, but
yeah,
it confuses people a lot.
yeah. Um. So, what was your first job?
My first job was D Magazine. It was an Italian magazine. D
Hmm.
Republic, I think, is the full name. And my first job that I built was Barney's, which unfortunately is no longer around.
Yeah. how did you feel on your first shoot? Were you nervous? Were you?
Had no idea what I was
Yeah.
doing. I looked so, I was, I was very Zoolander.
Yeah.
I had, no, in fashion, I've learned to pose and be present in front of the camera in different ways. But then I had no idea. I think I was just sucking my cheeks in and looking forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I would say is different with you, because many male models don't really get a global name. Like there's many, but not many people can mention them by name. But someone like you or David Gandhi, um, if I knew about them, and most people do.
I mean, I've never thought of myself that way, but that's nice to hear that, I've had some recognizability through my career. It's nice to be acknowledged for what you've done.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So what would you say was there a moment where you thought, actually, I am becoming a proper supermodel?
I see. Me and Lon have had this conversation a lot of, actually, quite often, and I think it all boils down to, I think I've managed to get to where I have been in my career off the basis is I don't realize that.
Mm.
I can understand it. I hear people say it, and I say thank you, but I don't see myself as that, and I never have.
Yeah.
And I think that sensibility that I have naturally has kind of helped my career that way.
Yeah.
I've always taken it as a job, and I've been very fortunate to have a job like this.
What would you say are the positives of your work?
I mean, I'm talking to you right now. How awesome is that? It's
You're
I get to do these really cool things, and I get to travel the world and meet incredible people and be able to tell a little bit about my story and my family. And I mean, that's a blessing alone. The money's not bad.
Yeah.
The people the good ones are really nice. And so, I've got I got to lead a really cool life. I never dreamed for myself growing up. So I get constantly surprised daily still.
Yeah. So tell me a place you've traveled to where you can't wait to go again after the pandemic's over.
I really loved Fiji. The people are so beautiful. Bula. They're just so happy.
Yeah.
You can really disappear there. And I'm quite a hermit, so I don't mind going to quite rural destinations.
Oh, yeah. Um, so what would you say is the negative side to being a male model?
Well, I guess
Be honest as you like.
uh, so with my career, I've been very fortunate. The negatives I've had in my career, I kind of call as like missing a flight or going out too much at the beginning. And those were negatives, but I controlled that narrative. I guess the connotation of what people assume and trying to get around that. But once people get past that, again, I'm only speaking on myself. I've had a very fortunate career path that way of negatives and positive. I've had many more positives than negatives. And the negatives I have encountered have mostly predominantly been caused by myself. But I was young. I was 17, thrown into this world of luxury. I didn't know how to handle it.
You don't have any of the specifics but yourself.
Well, I mean, when they try to put you in shoes too small, that's uncomfortable. But again, I get paid to put on shoes too small sometimes. There are negatives, but it's nothing that I really can spend time picking apart for myself.
Yeah.
Because positives outweigh that. Yeah. And so, I mean, there's tons of negatives throughout the set. Like, I hate being pinned up in clothes, but that's part of my job. Yeah. I'm afraid of heights. I hate flying. Part of my job. So the negatives it's what I signed up for. Yeah. At least that's the way I try to take it,
To the general public, what would you love, people have this, image of what male models are. but what would you, want to say that this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what, do you know what I mean? This, like this, not me, but the public has stereotypes.
Oh, there's definitely so many stereotypes. I tell people I'm an advertising associate
Yeah,
because technically I am. I mean, it's what people want to assume. That doesn't bother me. I mean, at the beginning it did. It was, oh, you're Zoolander, or oh,
yeah,
you're dumb, and things like that. But then I realized I controlled my own narrative,
yeah.
and I mean, I am a my mom. That's my job,
And,
and I'm proud.
and how did you control it, would you say?
I stopped letting it control me.
Hmm,
I took more control over that. I control this narrative for myself. And so I decided to become a larger part of it and not just the male model. Like, I'm starting a skincare line right now, and I have my hand in other things. And at the beginning, I didn't know I could do all that. I thought I am my job, but the older I get, it's just a part of me,
yeah,
which is nice to have that control
yeah.
mentally a bit.
Did you ever feel at a certain part of your life you were out of control?
I think,
You know,
yeah, if I didn't live life right if I didn't.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, 5, 6 years ago, I was definitely more within, the want and cares of the industry. Like, I wanted to be more a part of it than I'd say that I thought I needed to.
hmm.
And I realized that, I'm gonna go down my road, and hopefully I can maintain being in the fashion world as well.
And do
You
your
know,
own thing.
exactly. That's the hope, at least.
And was that liberating for you?
I think it happened without me realizing it.
Yeah,
I think I just kind of got there, and one day I was like, "Oh, this is different, this feeling." I just felt like I had more control,
yeah.
and I think that has helped me in the later part of my career of how I can handle myself in, some hard times.
Well, people say you are one of the richest models in the world.
Well, pandemics aren't fun.
But not many young models will look up to you as inspiration. What is the key to securing a long time in the industry like you have?
From my perspective,
Yeah,
I think it's about maintaining that humility.
mm,
That, I mean, you have to realize you're a model. You're here because of the way you look. You have to take that and make that much more, though. I mean, in the industry, we're all going up against people that are all in the casting. It could be dark hair, blue eyes. So I'm going up against guys that look exactly like me.
mm,
And you have to be able to separate yourself. And I think that's part of who you are on set and how you act and present yourself. It's how
mm,
you carry yourself. I mean, just be blessed that you're getting paid to stand there today. Don't think too much into it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Just be happy and present.
yeah,
And I think that would really help a lot of people. But it's hard to be consistent with that. And I know I wasn't at certain points. But again, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more of a gauge and handle on that.
how many years would you say it took for you to really find your feet in the industry?
I'm still trying to find my feet.
Yeah,
I mean, even now with the pandemic, everything's changing, and
yeah.
you're having to move different ways, and so I'm constantly
So
still
what difficulties have the pandemic made for someone like you?
travel. Most of my work's
Yeah,
abroad.
mm,
It's less America, more everywhere else. So
yeah,
that didn't really help being New York based for the last 10 months.
yeah, yeah,
But again, I'm still here. I'm okay. So it's like I can't complain too.
yeah.
I can't.
Um, do you have a moment in your career where you look back at and you think, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. That was so good."
And to not sound cheesy or anything, but as I've gotten older, I've become a little bit more retrospective about things, and I look at things constantly, and I think about how cool it was, and just to see an image, which is pretty cool about this. One of the positives is to be able to relive that moment. And you know, it's like I can see an image and I could say that, oh, I was dancing in the streets with Coco in Venice. And when I see that, there's just so many cool moments. I mean, but that's what this job is. It's a fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We sell that separation of reality. So every time we're on set, it's mesmerizing. It's not real though.
Yeah. You sell a dream.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I've got to live a dream for 15 years,
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah, everything that I've been a part of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some more than others, but again, it's such a blessing that way.
Yeah. But there's no specific moment you have.
I haven't thought about it enough, that one moment, because there's been, I wouldn't give all the weight to one moment if that, I don't think it does it justice properly or appropriately.
I heard about you the first time. It was the Taylor Swift video.
It's probably the most known moment of my career.
When that happened, did your life change dramatically?
Drastically. I mean, there is something about that woman's fame that's crazy. I mean, wow.
Tell me what happened.
She's just like, I guess in the social media aspect, after that came out, obviously my social media increased quite, I mean, ridiculously. So it's just her following is just a remarkable fan base, you know, and they're very, very loyal, and it's just quite funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. I didn't, really understand it. I wasn't going after that. I had I still don't have any idea how to do social media. I mean, I'm so bad at
it. Did you get more, brands, more jobs after that, would you say?
It was different. I got different things, my career definitely it went down a different road after that. But it gave me access. It opened more doors for sure. I mean, I'm very thankful I was able to be a part of that.
Yeah. I always, when I think about models, I compare, women and men, and I can name at least, 10 female models compared to male models. And that is because of something like when we had Victoria's Secret, female models were given a huge platform. Even more so, the masses like myself, we knew them by their first name. But why isn't that the same case for male models? Like the same kind of familiarity?
Well, I mean, I think I might be the wrong person to ask because I actually know most of the male models by name now. And I just don't think we've ever been advertised that way. There was no runway shows for men that were streamed that were on TV across the globe. I mean, I remember watching the Victoria's Secret show when I was a kid. It was a big deal. My dad loved it.
Yeah.
But, they didn't have those things for men.
Yeah.
And so I think the social media realm does give a little bit more access to that. And that's why it's becoming, I think, I guess the names are becoming a bit more relevant. Like Lucky's and Alton and Jordan's. Like, I mean, it's like, but with that social push, it helps their name right too.
Would you, maybe not you personally, but how do male models feel about the influx of social media stars becoming models and basically taking some of your jobs?
Oh yeah, but I mean, there's competition everywhere in this industry, if you want to think of it that way. I mean, but at the end of the day, once you give your book or your book sent, you can't do anything else. You've taken those pictures. That's it. Your hands off at that point. That's up to your agent and the client.
Yeah.
I can't really worry myself about what other people are doing because I feel like I would get lost not progressing within myself. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that, but again, I get paid to stand in front of a camera.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to complain about the lack of jobs that gives another person that wouldn't have had that access the
Yeah.
ability to do something and live the same dream. You know,
Like
and
to me,
room for everybody.
yeah. Like to me, you have that proper classic look of a male model.
Thank you.
Whereas I see some social media stars and I'm thinking, how did that agency even sign them? Not that I'm an expert, but you know, as a woman, I kind of I and most women have will say what I say. We like that kind of classic male look. Um, so with social media stars, do you think their following, rather than their actual look or anything else, has influenced agencies?
I think people are now, because of this access of social media, people want more of a story to the character instead of just a pretty face. And a lot of these social media stars give that.
Yeah,
And that's the ability they bring, and it's different. And I mean, I understand that. Like, I did a job for a company that's an English company, Orla Bar Brown, and I was mesmerized at, like, I actually worked with a couple influencers on this job.
yeah,
I was mesmerized at how much work they did.
yeah,
Like, I was like, I'm just going there to take a picture in a bathing suit with my phone. I mean, these guys had full setups, waking up at 5 a.m. I mean, they actually worked their ass off.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've encountered it, and I gained a whole new respect for them. And I started deciding that I needed to try a little bit harder. You know, I bought one of those ring lights. But again, the people that do it and do it well, I highly respect.
So, did you like you said you bought a ring light? Did you try any other?
No, I
Um,
didn't try for influencing. Because we did Zoom photo shoots during that
mm,
time. So but I'm not driven that way,
yeah,
unfortunately. I'm just I have other thoughts in my head than social media, and that's okay, I guess. I
yeah,
mean, the industry would like probably it to be better,
mm.
but I feel like I have to be true to myself though too.
So, what is your vision? What are you passionate about?
Golden retrievers. Well, right now I'm working on my skincare line with
Yeah,
my partner, and that's taking up a lot of time. Uh, and I have an amazing girlfriend that's been incredible to be a part of during the pandemic. We kind of went 0 to 60,
yeah,
but it's been great, and just kind of preparing for Christmas and a holiday away from my family.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, kind of buckling down for the first time in New York.
yeah. So, do you see your, future projects as, having, well, you're getting your own skincare line, but going that route, getting even more, making the Sean or Pry brand?
I'm I'm not sure about that. I
Mm,
I I don't know if that's for me. I have to see what happens. You know, in 31,
yeah,
I think still time to decide that. And but I I don't think so at this present time. I mean, I'd love to collaborate with things, but my own brand, I don't think I'd want it associated with my name if I did anything within fashion, like
yeah.
Sean O'Pry. You know, half the people say my last name wrong anyway.
So, what is your dream if you had a magic wand right now? Where would you like to see yourself in, let's say, 10 years?
Progressing. I'd like to see myself more settled.
Yeah,
Hopefully, a couple little ones.
yeah.
I don't want 10-year-olds. I don't want to surprise it, anytime soon. But in 10 years from now,
In terms of your career.
see, that's the thing. I've been here 15 years almost now.
Mm,
10 years, I'd be 25. I don't know if the industry wants me around that long.
I'm sure they will.
I mean, I guess everyone would say, I hope success
Yeah,
would follow me. But if it doesn't, happiness. I prefer to be in a very content place emotionally. because I understand now how important that is.
Yeah.
Especially, you can have all the success in the world and not be content personally, and that it won't translate.
Yeah.
It'll be a very miserable time for you. So, yeah, I just like to be in a really good place. That would be nice.
So what is your happy place?
Well, I like how so? I mean, I have a lot of happy places.
So let's make it a bit holiday. So what is your happy place on vacation?
Oh, I'm one of those people that loves the beach. I love to go dive. So that's why I said Fiji. It has incredible diving. People, again, are amazing. But, because of this current situation, my happy place probably right now would be to be around my family.
Yeah.
I have that ability to be next to the people that I hold, close. And I don't have that, the ability at the moment. So it's that.
Do you think, in a weird way, the pandemic made you feel, because it stopped you from doing your normal work? Do you think I'm not saying you didn't before, but did you appreciate family even more, would you say?
It changed drastically. I think I was so caught up in the fast-paced lifestyle of just this industry and, from
Yeah.
flight to flight, and that when I'd had the days to rest, I just rest.
Yeah.
And I've had, so much time to rest now.
Yeah.
At first when the pandemic happened, I was like, oh, that's great, a month, a break. And then, it's still going.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all are on your second lockdown, correct? Are y'all still in a lockdown there?
We are in certain areas. Yeah.
And I'm hoping New York doesn't go back in.
Yeah.
It's because it was lonely. I mean, I was very fortunate that I had Tallulah and my partner, but
Yeah.
it definitely made me stop and think because we were forced to, weren't we?
Yeah.
And that was all really, especially in the entertainment and fashion industry, we were able to do. We weren't really able to work. Our job is about being close, in
Yeah.
close contact.
Yeah.
So I just became very thankful.
Yeah.
I became much more thankful, and I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I'm sorry.
No, take your time.
It made me take a step back and realize what was important.
Yeah. Did you feel you were not focusing on that before?
I feel like I really wasn't focused in general, not the way I am now. Again, I was so absorbed with not the lifestyle of like, I've never been a partier or anything.
Yeah.
I prefer like a hole in the wall bar if I'd go out. But it was just the industry itself, being a part of that. This coming out next week, you're going here the next week, and that's just the way that it is. And it kind of just becomes part of you. Yeah. And when all that stops, I haven't been on a flight. Well, I did at the beginning. I wasn't on a flight for like 6 months, and in 15 years, I was averaging probably a flight a week. So it was a big change, and I was worried at first. It made me think: am I still going to have a job one day? Like, it was a fear. But I'm in a good place. It's nice.
Yeah. And I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but for you, financially, it must be okay.
I've been very fortunate. I'm not one to
compared to other models.
That's when people ask me about rates of men and women. I'm never one to open my mouth. I've been, I came up to New York with $150. I didn't have much.
Yeah. And
everything that's been bestowed on me, it's more than I ever could have dreamed that I'd ever have or need. So
it's like a blessing from God.
Yeah, it has. I don't know what else it would be. And I mean, I know it's not because I did it.
Yeah.
And I think being aware of that has kind of helped me as well. You know, I didn't try. I didn't make my face to look a certain way. You know, I don't. That's been probably the hardest part about the job. Is like you, you know, it just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
So
If you want to model, what would you do?
if I wanted to,
No, if
like
you
now,
were not a model.
oh my gosh, I don't know. I was 17 in a wild world, you know? So I would have gotten in trouble probably. I would have figured it out, probably gone to college, but definitely a little bit of a troublemaker when I was 17. So it was a blessing. It was the biggest blessing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Lana definitely, when she flew me up to New York, changed my life.
Yeah.
And all for the better. I owe that woman the world.
Yeah.
Like there's no any bit of my career without that lady.
Yeah.
I give 100% credit to everything to her.
That's lovely to hear. And thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.